Alright, before we get this episode started, after you watch this, if you enjoy it, please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video and my channel. A big thank you to you for that. Now, here's this week's episode. For the RO360 crew, the 2021 deer season started in February. Hi everybody, we're out here in central Wisconsin in the wooded acreage that we used to hunt here by my brother-in-law Craig. So anyways, right now I'm headed out to set trail cams in the area. We're going to start scouting for turkey, and we want to start checking out how the deer population survived the winter. So just heading out now, and we're going to get them trail cams set. See you in a bit. All right, one down. So this is the south end area of the swamp, as we call it, the lowland water area through here. So we're right on the edge. You can see here the food plot as it starts to slope up a little to the high ground. We've got a nice feeding area here.
This is the thick pine grove area just northwest of the food plot that the deer use as shelter during inclement weather conditions, whether it's heavy snow, high winds, or heavy rainstorms.
The grove of pines is out there for bad weather. That's what I talked about out there. And besides water availability here in the swamp, if we go a little bit southeast in that direction, the farmer's field, and he has an irrigation pond out that way. Another water source and food source. So like we said, we're envisioning this food plot here as a secondary food source or an assembly point for the deer prior to them moving out to the fields and feeding in the evening. And it's got all the basic cover. Like right here, I don't know how many times, I bet if I'd walk out there right now behind this downfall, I bet there's a bed behind there, bedded down, all pushed down. So when we clear cut this, we were stacking, making pinch points, throwing the tops of the trees and the brush and browse in these areas here and here and out there. So we're trying to funnel the deer through certain travel corridors. And as you can see here, it works, you know. Here's a travel corridor right here, really well used. Another one out here. We've got our brush pile there, our brush pile here. So an entryway in to the food plot here. Again, in between this brush pile and the other. Let's take a walk over there. You'll be able to see that it has well-used trails here in between the pinch points. And of course, coming in all from the north end also. So what we've done here out in the food plot is try to direct the deer in here. And out here to our south is the swamp area, the lowland water area. Now it's got some high mounds all over, and as you can see out there, there's a lot of down timber for bedding areas. And they do bed down right out here. So to our east, I don't know how this is going to turn out with the sun there, but I'll try my best. But southeast of here, just off our acreage, the farmer's got his cornfield, and he's got an irrigation pond that they use for a water source besides the swamp area for bedding. And sorry to make you guys dizzy. And if you look behind me out in there, it gets a little denser. You can see some of it here. You can see some of it right here, and as I turn, you can see it gets a little denser. That's that pine grove I was talking about. So we've got everything around us, and of course, our food plot area is on a slight upslope coming out of the swamp with a nice south facing slope. So it heats up, hopefully good growing. We've had some success the last couple of years, and that's essentially it. So, time to get some more trail cams out.
As we walked around setting up the rest of the trail cams, we ran across quite a bit of recent deer activity in the area. We saw a lot of doe and fawn droppings, and even ran across some buck droppings. Now, buckscat tends to clump together in a tighter mass, while doe, fawn, and smaller deer leave small scattered pellets.
Coming off the hardtop onto the dirt road, and this should be the last leg in by Craig. Let's see if we stir up anything out of here. Lots of mud.
2 weeks later, nearing mid-March, as the weather turned the corner towards spring, warmer temps melted the majority of the snow cover. And driving in, we noticed active deer now searching for recently exposed food opportunities.
Ooh, a couple of deer. Got a couple of deer right there. I don't know if I can focus in on them or not. Right there, they're staring at me, doing a little head bobbing. There we go. I'm focusing on the limb, but you can see them. I'm going to try to get right on the other side here and see what they do. There, oops, went too far. There we go. Into the woods. Cool. We got more deer out in the farmer's field. 3 of them. One's alert, 2 are feeding. Yep. It's like they heard me right on cue. They're all checking us out. All right. Time to head into Craig's. Just down the dirt road, we're almost there.
On the afternoon of the next day, I was headed out to the food plot to start the spring cleanup.
All right, first good look at the food plot without any snow. But looks like they're tearing it up a little. Something's been in here. So, be curious to check out the trail cam. So, we got to clean up the 2 mock scrapes here. Get that hay off of the mock scrapes at least. And then leaves aren't too bad. There is the swamp sanctuary and bedding area. And then pine trees are out in that direction. We're here. Time to get to work. So first thing we're going to do is clean up the mock scrape areas, and then we'll work on blowing leaves in that. All right, we are done with the food plot. I'm going to swing and show you the sun. We got it done just as it's cresting the trees. I was out here for 3 hours on this, but it's done. We're ready for the next step on the food plot. Well, when I get down here to where the lowland starts in the swamp area out there, I always take some time to scan here, just in case they're bedding down closer to the edge. And like I said, our ATV trail, we don't have a choice on this side. We go through the swamp, but the lot line, I don't know if you can see the field out there, our lot line is right there. So we have to go through the swamp here, so we're as far out of the main sanctuary area that we can be. But every once in a while we get some bucks bedding down closer to the trail here, and I always like to check before I move in here. So, all right, We'll see you when we get to the high ground. Deer sign along the trail moving in to the food plot. Okay, we are back to the food plot, and the goal for today, we're going to activate our mock scrapes. I'm going to get a new licking branch attached. All right, we're going to get to it right now. There. All right, so our new licking branch attachment. I think that's a pretty good location for it. We'll get it zip tied up there and activate this scrape down here, and we'll be ready to go with one of the mock scrapes and licking branches. We just have our scent spray, our odor spray to kill the human odor. Again, I'm not pushing one product or another. In fact, I have two different styles. I have a tendency to buy what's on sale. Just a matter of activating the mock scrape on this one and getting the buck urine down. So. And this site is now active. Okay. Now, this scrape area, we didn't really set this one up. This one was actually created by bucks. So they've been in here scraping and marking in here and utilizing these marl trees. So we just keep this up to date. It's not far from the other scrape, but for some reason they seem to attract the bucks to this area. So we're going to get this one activated now. There we go. Second scrape activated. I'm starting out with a smaller scrape. Remember, scrapes can be anywhere from 18 inches to 4.5 feet. And it's a good indication of the size of the deer and how dominant that deer is. So when I make my early scrapes, I want to make sure that to any deer that come in, that it's a smaller scrape and that deer looks beatable. He's not a real dominant buck, but he does have the cojones, as I said before, to come in and mark the territory of these other bucks in this area. So a small one to make it look like it's a beatable young buck. We'll see what happens over the next week. Next week I plan on getting in here, weather permitting, that I can get in here with the ATV and the big drag rake that we pull, and I can get in here and rough up all of this, and we'll come back and forth in the food plot area and open that up, reactivate the scrapes. Again, depending on weather, mid-April we'll get down our seed, broadcast our throw and grow, and we're ready for the spring season to start getting those deer in here to feed. So stick with us and watch our progress. But Craig took a ride around the ATV trail to check out the condition of it, see if it's drying out well, because they're supposed to get some rain Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday up here. So took a drive around, and he stumbled on something and asked me if it was my handiwork, and I said no, not my handiwork. So let's go take a look, see what it is. So we're walking just down the trail. If this is the back trail of the ATV, you can see the trailer in that here right in the corner of his property, and this is the back end of the ATV trail as this goes all the way around the swamp and sanctuary areas out there. So anyways, check this out. So we stop here and he goes to me, "Is that your handiwork, making a mock scrape?" I'm like, "No sir, I didn't do this one at all." So we've got a small scrape, and they were in there tearing up a licking branch already. So we're packing up, ready to go home, and I run back to the truck. I got a couple of extra trail cams I always keep with me. I had 3 extra trail cams. I says, let's go put a trail cam on this one. So we put out the trail cam right here. Not the best tree to use. We did manage to anchor it in nice and solid, and here's what that one is showing. So we're right there. Okay, we'll get that camera activated, get an SD card in there, and that's what I'm going to do now. But just to confuse that buck that made that scrape, we're going to add some buck urine, and he's going to find out that there's another buck in the area. We got the trail cam on. Hopefully we're going to see some stuff next week when we come up. We're going to leave that one up for a while though, I can guarantee you that. So natural buck scrape right here. On the hardtop coming in by my brother-in-law's, it's March 26th. So we're just going to leave the camera running, see if we run across anything on the way in. Another spot is right here. This is where we saw him last time. Nothing.
Nothing.
Nada.
They're hanging out somewhere else.
The fields are empty. All right, Saturday morning, the 27th of March.
As you saw before, our spring food plot preparation coincides with our spring maple syrup production operation. And with rain expected for most of the day today, it looks like the food plot maintenance is going to be put on hold.
That's a shame.
All right, rain is starting here Saturday morning.
But just because of the rain and the fact that there's less to do, that doesn't keep us from keeping busy by smoking some food in my brother-in-law Craig's homemade smoker.
Okay.
All right, so we got the beaver. Did you put the, oh, you put the chicken in already. Okay.
Chicken's in the bottom.
Okay, so this is the homemade smoker.
Say that again.
There you go. All right. And we've got apple chips for smoking. And we're running beaver meat and a couple of chickens.
Here comes the rain.
Yeah. Right on cue, you're starting to smoke.
All right.
There we go. We be cooking. Okay, we are done. It's Saturday evening, a little after 5. We ate supper. Boy, the chicken was delicious. Beaver was good, but not quite as good as it was the first time. And I think it was because we smoked it on top, got to a higher heat, and we kind of overcooked it a little bit, waiting for the chickens. But it was edible, it was good. So we had beaver and chicken that was smoked for supper with some cheesy broccoli and baked potatoes. It was delicious. So we got time on our hands. We can't do much. It's raining. We're going to do a little road scout. I don't know what's going to happen with it being raining like this, if they're even going to be out, but we're going to go for a ride. So stick with us. Hopefully we'll show you some video of some turkeys and deer. So coming past the farm on the way out, and we got a couple turkeys in the field. What do we got there? It's clearing up. Hens.
Yeah, I figured.
2 hens.
Are you sure when they're that small?
Oh no, that second one behind them looked like it may be in a Jake.
I was gonna say, usually the
I
males
see a
are
little
separated.
bit. I see a little bit of a beard when he was started running away, flopping. The first one still looks like a hen to me.
Yeah,
I don't see nothing, or it's an awfully young Jake.
Yeah.
Just a small pup.
Just talking about how we weren't gonna see nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, The words no sooner came out of our mouth. And we came around the corner and there they were. I'll hold still for a minute.
Okay, we found some new public land for hunting. We were able to drive in here. Now this is east of Plainfield, so I'm definitely going to be scouting this area. We're driving in on here now, checking out a little bit. So let's see what we got here.
This will actually connect up with the piece you hunted.
It will? I mean, it's thick in here, but I already seen some pockets.
Here, look on the left.
Oh my goodness, right in here. Walk in and set up down in here. Look at this.
Yeah.
It pays to road scout, guys.
I've never come back this far. There goes a deer.
Was that a deer or a grouse? A bird of some kind. It was
a deer. There's a tail.
Oh yeah.
I see it going.
Yep, I see it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it picked it up on the camera.
Two of them more than one.
We're spooking
There
them.
was one ahead of it too.
They're bedding.
And these pine trees are easy to put a climber in.
Oh, look at this. Look at
It's
this.
being public land. It's gonna have people in it during rifle season.
You know,
That's
for
what I'm
deer
talking
hunting,
about.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm talking for turkey hunting.
Probably.
Oh, shit, under here.
Yeah. Probably.
And you're
And
gonna
pines are
know.
where they're gonna roost too.
Yeah.
Especially if the weather's bad.
Yeah.
They're gonna roost in the pines.
And you're gonna know when you drive in because you're gonna see vehicles, so you'll know ahead of time.
Yeah. They just logged this out. That's why I left it alone, because it was too thick. But
Yeah.
now they just logged it out.
This is nice.
Look at all the fresh cut in here.
You know, this to me, this made the trip worth it tonight, right here. Discovering this.
Yeah.
This is sweet. I want to see where we come out here. Although I think I'd come in on that end. It'd be a shorter walk to the better hunting areas from what we've seen so far.
Yeah. I don't know where we're going. Honestly, I never went down the road.
Okay. Well, we're going this way.
Oh, this is no trespassing. This is private.
Yeah.
So,
I have to turn around.
yeah, this is private. We're gonna respect private.
Yep.
There's plenty of hunting land up here. We don't need to.
Exactly.
We don't need to trespass.
Hunting ethics. Respect the other people's land. Don't be a jerk.
I said you can't expect your property rights to be respected if you don't respect others.
Well said. Well, I don't know.
Some thick shit for cover.
Yeah.
This might be grouse territory too, although not so much with the pines.
There's another one.
Yeah. That's another good one. It's nice and wide.
Oh, look at that all the way down there. Look at that being open.
You almost got to scout this and decide which part of this you're going to hunt.
Yes.
Now, we spent a good hour and a half driving around and checking out this area's logging trails. We both agreed this was a promising area to put boots on the ground in the future to scout for turkey and deer sign.
Yeah, this is nice.
There's the hardtop road coming up out there, so very cool.
On the ride back, we zigzagged county roads looking for active deer or turkey. Now, with no trail cam intel for us out here in this area, we wanted to get an idea of population numbers in close proximity to the new public hunting acreage we found. And we did get some intel from our road scouting. Check this out.
I got them. But there's a lot of trees.
Yeah, they're hard to pick
There
out.
we go. There we go.
Got one right here close to the road. 50 feet off the road. Looking over his back at us.
Yeah.
Getting nervous.
That tail gonna flag. There he goes. All right.
There's the trail.
There they go.
There go 3 of them. I wonder if these are ones we just watched cross the road.
There goes
The same
last one.
count.
Oh, we got one standing back there. Doesn't take much. One of them spooks and they all take off.
Yep. There's one silhouetted all the way over to the right. Can you see it?
That one right
Kind
there.
of silhouetted on the
No.
top
is
of the
that
hill.
a deer? No. That is not a deer.
I'm right over the hill. I gotta get moving.
Go ahead.
If somebody flies, they're gonna
Yeah, they're gonna get hit.
silhouetted
Come on, clear up.
against the skyline.
There we go. 2 there. One feeding, one alert. Another alert one. Feeding one behind them, it looks
There's a
like.
couple way off to the right.
Couple alert.
Right on the,
Yeah, another
right on
one.
the skyline.
Another one. Cool. Very cool. Lots of deer we're seeing. Where the turkey? Gobble gobble. So, successful scouting trip. Nice deer right at the end. A lot of people go, you guys are nuts stopping for every deer. We still get excited. Heading out on the food plot. It's about 9 o'clock Sunday morning. We're going to do a little raking. I don't know if you see in the background here behind me, we had a little snow overnight. Ain't that a pretty picture going out in the morning? Alright, out on the food plot. A little cold out here today and breezy. The plan for today is we've got this hay and we want to get that raked up. We're going to pile that here on the north end of the food plot, and I'd like to get in here with the drag rake behind the ATV yet today and drag this and try to clean this up as good as we can, get ready for planting. It's the plan for today. So right now, before I get started with the rake, I want to check out some of the mock scrapes. Oh, Chance, get out of there. He loves it out here. Anyways, before I get started raking up that hay and getting it on the north end, like I said, we're going to check out the mock scrapes and see if we've had any activity. Small mock scrape. I'll get out of the way here, but you can see some deer prints in here. So they've been in here sniffing around on this one. Like I said, though, they left the branch alone. The other one is over here, and yeah, they've been in this one also. That's a pretty big hoof print there, but yeah, they've definitely been in here. So very good sign there by the mock scrape areas. We've had deer in there. So let's get to work. We're done cleaning. Like I said, now's the time before the swamp gets too mucky and we can't get an ATV back here. We take the ATV trail out here with the drag rake, and the drag rake will clean this up and actually put little furrows in the ground, which will help when I come out and spread seed in a couple of weeks. I'm figuring maybe another end of March. Yeah, 3 to 4 weeks, around the end of April. We'll come out, we'll get some seed down, rake it over, and let nature take its course on the food plot again this year. So we'll be out here with the ATV and the drag rake. So stick with us. I'll catch you in a little bit. All right. I made a pass through to start, so let's get to work on cleaning up the food plot and getting those furrows in for planting. Well, that's it. I think we got it tore up pretty good. Check it out there. We got stumps we got to work around, as you can see, but we got it ground up pretty good. All right, one last thing to do. We're gonna head back. I'm out of breath. I just got done putting the rake in the trailer, That thing is heavy. We were able to tip the trailer back. It's still a little bit of a chore for a 67-year-old to be doing that by himself. We got her done. Anyways, gonna head back to the trailer and we're gonna make one more run out here because we did go through the mock scrape areas. I tried to avoid them, but in order to get everything around where all the roots are and that and get the right angles, I did have to go through the mock scrape one in the center and a little bit on the one over here where we added the licking branch. So we're gonna head in, we're gonna drop this, probably run back out on the ATV, and we're gonna recreate the mock scrapes, and I'm gonna activate them with a little more buck urine because I'm not gonna be up here for probably 2.5 weeks. All right, checking in Monday, October 18th. I've been laid up for about, since a little bit after Labor Day. Going on maybe 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 5.5, something like that. Tweaked my back, my sciatic nerve, had trouble even walking, standing, sitting. It's finally getting back to normal. I'm not at 100%, but I'm probably at 90, 95. And haven't been up north since end of August. Anyways, enough jibber jabbering. I'm finally out and about. We'll see you guys up there. Turkeys. What do we got here for a flock? Looks like hens and some bigger poults. Tough to see beards. I don't see any beards. Those are hens and poults, it looks like. So, all right. Heading out in the woods here in central Wisconsin to pick up our trail cams and gather some trail cam data.
Sure would be nice to trim down the weed growth in the food plot here. Now, weeds aren't necessarily a bad thing, especially on small food plots such as ours, as long as they don't take over your food plot. The broadleaf weeds are deer food also, but keeping them in check by cutting down their height is recommended, so your planted crop can thrive also. We'll get into the details a little later.
I missed this one coming in. It just goes to show you, here's where the high ground starts, and I was so interested in looking out this way that I completely missed this scrape right here by this tree. And this one appears to be fresh. You can see a little bit of a scrape mark here. We've got a definite hoof print there. Looks like some more scrape marks there, that we saw. So we got a scrape mark right here, right on the trail. Got some more fresh scrape marks here. But I don't know, we got deer prints in there. Yeah, I suppose a small print right there. So another scrape mark right here. We're scraping here, maybe working these over. Scrape mark there, working that over. All right, let's get unloaded, let's get to work.
When you have a small plot, such as ours, the deer can overbrowse and eliminate your planted crop. Now, the edible weed growth that is slightly taller will be eaten, thus taking some pressure off your planted crop, helping it to last throughout the full year cycle as intended. When the broadleaf weed growth gets too high and starts to adversely affect your planted crop, just mow it with a higher cut. Now, in our smaller plot, we attack it with weed eater trimmers, thus exposing our planted crop as forage for the deer once again by allowing that planted crop to grow up and fill in the areas again. Now you can see where weeds are not necessarily a bad thing, especially in smaller food plots.
And this is the reason we're knocking down weeds. We've got clover coming up. So by getting the weeds knocked down, we're exposing all that clover again, so they'll be able to come in here and feed. I suppose some of the ryegrass came up. It's thicker on the west end, but we do have scattered clover, so I'm happy with that. So we got some pretty good beds of it too. Here, let's take a look over here. I'll get down a little closer here. You can see the bed of clovers there. So considering we did nothing with this plot this summer, no weeding, no planting, no watering except for the rain. And like I said, we've got areas of clover like we're showing here and back there all over the plot here. So knocking down the weeds, it can't hurt. Well, it's 2:35. We're going to start unloading stuff and staging to set up the blind now. So. Well, there it is. 5:30. We're going to go inside and zip it up. Alright, we got done camoing it in. So, I'll give you a peek inside. We got the 2 chairs to sit. We've got our stable platform with our support windows. We've got our bow rest here for our crossbow. So, and here, I'll give you a look outside real quick. Sit in this chair here, and again I've got the camo netting up. I'm not taking that down, but you can see our shooting windows here, there, that one, so that one. Let's get this thing buttoned up. We're done for today.
So here's a quick look around at the camo job on the outside of the ground blind. Now we also have some 8-ladder tree stands set up around the property at travel route locations. So the crew has multiple setup location opportunities.
So we took you along on our food plot preparation, our scouting trips in the woods, and our blind and tree stand setups. Now let's take a look at some of the trail cam data that we utilized to put together the final pieces of the puzzle for our 2021 fall deer hunts. So we're going to start out in north central Wisconsin along the Brule River bordering upper Michigan at our Vantaggi Deer Camp. Now we had only one trail cam set up at the Vantaggi camp, and that was set up 100 yards behind our trapper's cabin on a trail through the woods. Now that was set up from June 7th through October 10th. But for our data processing to get ready for the fall bow hunts, we only utilized the trail cam data from June 7th through the end of September, totaling 116 days. Now in that 116 days, we got 538 pictures, of which 436 were of some type of animal data.
Now 381 photos were deer, or 87.4% of the 436 photos. And the deer photo breakdown was as follows. 70.3% of the photos were does and 13.9% were fawns, while 15.8% were bucks. There were some nice sized does to harvest to put meat in your freezer, but our analysis of the doe photos showed only 80 individual does out of the 268 doe photos. the data analysis on the bucks with 15.8% or 60 photos out of the 381 deer photos showed that there were only 18 individual bucks making multiple appearances. The largest rack was an 8-point big-bodied buck who showed up only once at night. Then multiple appearances by a smaller 6-point and 4-point bucks and a couple of spike bucks. Now 20 photos, or 4.6% of the 436 photos, were of the major predators in this area, bears and timber wolves, with bears in 70% of the photos with 14 picks, and timber wolves in 30% of the photos at 6 picks. The rest of the data photos, 35 picks, or 8% of all the photos taken, consisted of rabbits, grouse, and squirrel. Rabbits had 13 picks, grouse 6, there was one with a squirrel, and there were undistinguishable night photos showing eye shine of what's most likely skunk or raccoons.
Now, there's a couple of interesting data points that I wanted to point out. Now, by far the most active trail cam month was August. But by the time September rolled around, we noticed a drop of 32.6% in trail cam photos, almost a 1/3 decline as the fall bow season here in Wisconsin started. Now, the other important data set we drew from the trail cams was that only 35% of the photos were during daylight hours. In other words, 35% of the time we would have shooting hours available to us, while 65% of the time photos were taken during nighttime or during the end of official shooting hours here in the state of Wisconsin. Hey, be sure to check out our next episode, part 2 of our trail cam review data, which focuses on our central Wisconsin hunting acreage,
in which we had 8 trail cams out from February through October. So join us as we continue to put the final puzzle pieces together for our 2021 fall deer hunts.
Hey, and again, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on our next episode. Feel free to comment below, or if you don't want to comment in the public eye, we can also be reached at rappingoutdoors360@gmail.com. Now, if you know somebody you think might enjoy this video series, please feel free to go ahead and share this video or this link with your friend. And as always, whether you fish or hunt, remember, practice CCR. Catch, conserve, replenish. Make sure that that resource is available for future generations. See you next time, guys.